Alrighty, good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, February 13th, 2024. Let's go ahead and jump back to yesterday and take a look. Yesterday, in my opinion, was a very easy day. Whether you were buying or selling the market, there were two really good opportunities that I took advantage of. Let's go ahead and jump back and take a look. Hope you guys had a good night, good morning. CPI news obviously this morning has led to a pretty nice healthy pullback so far. But let's go back and take a look. So if you guys recall, the pre-market yesterday, same situation as it's been for multiple days, maybe even for the last 2 weeks, and that is the fact that we've got a very strong market with clues for a much larger pullback, and we were basically bulls unless price could start to push down through, especially get through 50% of the previous day. And if that would happen, that would give us a little bit of a sign to maybe start to become a bear. But if price could not get even through that first line in the sand, and more importantly, this little pocket here that we talked about from about 50% of the previous day up to our swing here at 33, this little 2.5 point pocket, if they couldn't get through there, then it was the idea was to expect a continued push to new all-time highs. So let's look at what happened here out of the open. Now, it was another case of a stair step up the roadmap levels. So if you look in the pre-market, just a couple seconds, maybe a couple minutes before the market opened, we held right off our first roadmap level at 50.40. Or actually, I'm sorry, I just added that to the chart. So let's scratch that. So we held right around the close of the day before. So this is a new level, but we opened right around the close of the day before and literally just kind of stair step from there. So what you can see is a little bit of chop in the morning, kind of held the VWAP. You might have been able to buy Hopeful and VWAP there, but again, didn't really go anywhere. Then we kind of ducked down through to the bottom end of VWAP, but held again that first roadmap level. This roadmap level was added to the chart for this morning. So all we had on the chart was the previous daily close. We held it, and ever so slightly here was a very aggressive type of stair step thing that happened yesterday. We held the Hopeful, then held the FMA, and then got through the high of the day before. And then it was just a nice aggressive move all the way up to new all-time highs in the S&P until we kind of made this maybe blow off top type of situation to go ahead and fail and continue going. So our target to the upside yesterday was 50.71. I told you probably want to take profit maybe a point or two in front. Unfortunately, we never made it. We came up to 50.6675. That was the high of the morning and the high of yesterday. And then the whole market started to fail. So again, out of the open, stair stepped right up each individual roadmap level, came up to that new high, and then from there, and this is, my friends, probably my favorite trade setup. So if you were a bull in the morning, great. You know, you had pretty much perfect opportunities with, again, if you were to buy any of these roadmap levels, you maybe took on a tick or two of risk. So there's no question that you can trade and keep your risk very tight and give yourself potential opportunities for large moves. So you can keep risk small. Maybe you're going to take a couple more stop outs, but when your trades go in the direction that you want, you're able to, again, take on trades with very limited risk and still capitalize on 10, 15, 20 point moves. So we got all the way up to that area, and this is what I've spent a lot of time talking to you guys about. We make a high in the market, we get a pullback, right? And probably could have bought the 200 there, but didn't quite go anywhere until it ducked about 3 points through and got the pop. And then on the attempt by the bulls to come back up and break through the high of the day or the high of the morning, whatever it is, it fails just in front, and sometimes just a couple ticks. Sometimes it's, for all intents and purposes, it was like a double top, right? And then we began this nice healthy pullback. We got the crossover, and then what do you know? Came right up to the back end of the VWAP there. We just missed the 200 if you were waiting for that, but we came right to the back end of the 200, and that was your sign there to go ahead and see if you could get this pullback, right? So an attempt by the bulls to break out through the high of the day. It gets a fail. We get the crossover. Price gets back down to the to below VWAP, and then we get a test either off the VWAP or the 200 here for the breakdown. So that is a textbook trade we've spent a couple webinars on, and I mention it pretty often. I make a little bit more money when I'm fading the market for whatever reason, and that is one of my favorite setups there. So great opportunity. We still parried right off the high of the day before, and then just got a super extreme here, come all the way down to our roadmap level at 50.33 From there, and remember that this was the pocket that we were looking at in the pre-market. So we came right down to the discrete top end of it where we had that roadmap level at 33.25. It was the high of last year, a major swing high that I told you was more than likely going to be where we find some bullish support if the market gets down there. And right to the tick, I mean literally to the tick, we bounced off of it. And then all afternoon here, you had opportunities to short the back end of Hopel. So again, if you were a bull in the morning, very, 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 very easy market here if you bought the pullbacks. And then once the market started to reverse phase and we got that crossover, you had a bunch of opportunities here to go ahead and get short and ride this down right to the area I told you was probably going to be an area of support. Again, then at the end of the day, we held Hopel, had a bunch of trouble from Hopel, and if you basically look, we got our stair step down. Now, we didn't get to our target to the upside, so I'm not going to argue. We came up to that and tagged it and fell, but we did tag the back end of VWAP, come down, tag the back end of the Hopel, and then came down and tagged the back end of the close of the day before, just a couple ticks from there, and literally was a stair step down the roadmap levels again. And that brought us here to the close, and what do you know? The market closed right inside of the pocket that we were watching in the pre-market. Then attempted to try to bounce out of that pocket, and throughout the overnight session, we held right inside of the little 2-point pocket that I gave you guys, and the bulls tried to rally it higher, only to fail off this new level that I added to the chart, 50.40. And now here we are on this pullback, and then you guys know what happened here. We had CPI news break at an hour before the open here, and what do you know? Stair stepped right off of the VWAP and this was right when the news hit, so we kind of popped right to VWAP. Then we got this failure. Interestingly enough, we bounced right at a very, very, very important level for the week here. You guys know what that is, or hopefully you know what that is. That was a reason why we want to be aware of that area, because it's kind of a higher time frame line in the sand. And interestingly enough, the bulls tried to recover from there, and then here we are coming into the open, and we are just in a mega pullback at the moment, right? So we got right through our major weekly level there, and it has just been in a very aggressive sell-off all pre-market here, coming close to the open now. And here we come right into another major retracement level that we're going to talk about in our pre-market here. So, pretty awesome stuff if you ask me. We get stair steps up to our levels, and then in bearish markets, we literally kind of stair step right down our levels, and there's really no argument here. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. And now here we come into the major 50% retrace of this bullish leg we're in. So let's go ahead and jump up to the higher time frames.